what I studied in industrial engineering really set me up to where I am now. The study of service design, which helped me focus a lot more, or now become more obsessed on customer experience, customer experience design, customer satisfaction. And looking at this, for me, my lived experience starts to become a bit difficult because you start to see where service falls apart. The service experience, whether in a restaurant, whether I'm coming to consume at a tuck shop, whether it's an internet service provider, won't mention any names, but it's like that type of thing where I then live to see, I see where a service perhaps is starting to fall apart in parts. And you start to think this can be improved here, here, and here. And I guess this is the method I'd like to take and inspire for entrepreneurs. Is this is really the mindset and the frame we need to really take in terms of our worldview. Instead of responding with despondency when you come across challenges, it's then an opportunity to then provide solutions to those. Touching back on this is, we early on in the year, a couple of friends of mine decided that, this would be our year to sort of push some self-care, book in some spas. And I think the experience, was all right, but not necessarily what we are, I guess, used to. And I think I remember sitting with a close friend of mine and we were complaining sort of about this and that. And we both study industrial engineering, so needless to say. And I think when I was sort of confused, I mean, it seems like we're the only ones kind of upset or complaining about this. And, a friend of mine, Aubrey, said to me to say, our problem is that we studied service design. So I think we do need people like us because you start to look at where things can be improved, but you also still enjoy the experience nonetheless. So looking forward, let me touch in and jump in on where the search for the silver lining really comes from in the past 2 years. So for me, what are the positives can we take? It's been quite a mess. There's been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of challenge. But I think there's a lot of positives I can take. But the main one really is, and don't be worried, this is not really a science lesson, is the transformational migration from analog to digital. And what I mean by analog to digital migration, we can view it as, those who come from the analog era is the TV guide era. And we now find ourselves in the streaming era. So content from across the globe, easily accessed in the palm of your hand, on your screen, at a moment's notice, where you can binge watch instead of watch on a set schedule, right, due to the limitations of the signal that is being used. But if I were to bring it now to business practices and how we operate, if I were to frame analog as the traditional way of doing business, which there's nothing wrong with, where you're looking at face-to-face meetings are the norm. If I want to pay, I'm paying via cash. We're going into the office on a frequent basis. And you're looking at this to say, when you look at meetings, whatever the case might be, everything is in point. I need to drive to go and get something somewhere. And if you then migrate this to the digital frame, is I can get something delivered to my doorstep. There's a plethora now of payment methods, whether it's online, mobile, and the works, that allow me to sort of engage without the need of withdrawing cash or physical currency in my hand. There's an opportunity for me to engage with people across the globe, whether it be in the US, in Australia, right now, as opposed to needing to catch a flight. There are no physical boundaries sort of keeping us from engaging with, our customer bases, with our potential partners.